Today's topic is really of great interest and concern to President Obama's foreign policy team, not just the domestic policy team, but the foreign policy team. And in Central America especially, we've been working with governments in the region to help them to reduce crime and violence. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the situation in places like Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador, which have some of the highest murder rates in the world. Honduras is, in fact, number one. And when you ask people in these countries what their top concern is, this is based on public opinion polls, despite all the economic problems that they have there, they say their number one concern is crime. And we also know now that one of the factors driving illegal immigration to the United States is crime and violence. So, we've been supporting governments in the region, private sector, civil society, to deal with their security challenge. And in part it's because of national security reasons. Obviously what happens in Central America, what happens in our neighboring countries has a big impact on the United States. There's a transnational nature to the gangs. And as President Obama, who was in Costa Rica just a couple days ago and was meeting on this issue, among others, with his Central American counterparts, as he said, quote, "Our fate is tied to your success. If you are doing well, we will do better." But we're also concerned with crime from a development perspective. At USAID, we are a development agency. And we've concluded that in certain countries, crime and violence is the leading obstacle to economic growth and development. A couple years ago, President Obama announced an initiative to promote economic growth in El Salvador. And we began the process with what we call a constraints analysis. And we put together a team of our best economists with best economists from El Salvador. And they looked at every possible constraint to economic growth, all sorts of economic constraints and others. They concluded number one was crime and violence. So the economic boom that you read so much about in Latin America is really more of a South America story. It's a Mexico story. It's really less about Central America. It's less about the Caribbean. And the reason that those countries, the reason the growth in those countries is lagging is in part, and in some countries in large part, because of the crime and violence that they are suffering from. And again, as the President noted in Costa Rica a couple days ago, quote, "It is hard to sustain a strong economy when people feel insecure." Now, USAID's role is like your role here domestically. We focus on prevention. And that's an approach that's increasingly being embraced throughout Central America. If you went to Central America a few years ago and you listened to the presidents there and other politicians and political candidates, they all talked about the puño firme, the mano dura. That's how they thought that they were going to fight crime. And if you asked them what their prescription was, they said the death penalty. They thought the death penalty, that was the panacea. You go to Central America now, you're hearing a very, very different story. The same political leaders who are talking about the puño firme are now talking about investing in youth. And what they realize is that just cracking down is not only ineffective, but it can also be counterproductive. And so together, we've been working with our counterparts in Central America to invest in at-risk youth, providing education and job training. We've helped open up 100 youth centers. I guess they're in some ways like the parks that the mayor was talking about here. And these are safe places where youth can come to play, to learn. It's really a beautiful, beautiful thing to come and see them operating. We also work with communities to help them to develop their anti-crime plans, and we're working on improving juvenile justice systems. And we find that in all of our work overseas, there's real interest in models from the United States. And they see the success of so many cities here, even beyond LA. They look at New York and Washington, where crime rates are now down to the levels we had in the early 60s, in some cases the late 50s. Just extraordinary, extraordinary progress. But there's special interest in Los Angeles. And obviously there are historical ties, there are very, very deep family ties still. As the mayor noted, this is the birthplace of some of the gangs that are operating throughout Central America. But what they're most impressed with is the extraordinary success that you've had here. The mayor spoke to it, and those numbers are really striking. And the colleagues that I have here from Northern Triangle, from Mexico, they want to learn from you. They want to be able to apply some of these lessons. And that's why last year we at USAID, my boss, Dr. Rajiv Shah, who's the head of USAID, came to Los Angeles and signed an MOU with the mayor to enable us to work together in Honduras, in El Salvador, in Guatemala, to help share the tools that have been the keys to your success here. And I'm so pleased that so many of my colleagues and some of our implementing partners and government officials are here from those countries. We're also looking to establish links between Los Angeles and our counterparts in Mexico. I want to especially welcome those who have come here from Tijuana and Monterrey and Ciudad Juarez. We're really eager to work with you. We know that your new government is putting a special emphasis on prevention, and we're eager to help them to succeed. So what you're doing here is not only having an impact on Los Angeles, doesn't only have an impact in other U.S. cities, it has an impact throughout this entire hemisphere. And there's particular interest in the YSET tool. The mayor talked about this, the tool you have to identify the youth that are most likely to join a gang. There's great interest in the service providers here and what you do once you've identified a youth who's vulnerable to a potential gang life, and what you do to provide services to prevent that. And I think what we're doing, what the Central American governments are doing, what Mexico is doing, is already working. You know, we're seeing crime rates have come down. They're still very, very high, but they're starting to come down in certain places. We just did a study of USAID's work in El Salvador, and we found that in the areas where we're investing in communities, people are feeling more secure there than the areas where we are not investing. Now, this conference is obviously an opportunity for all of us to be able to share best practices, learn from each other, and network. But I do want to emphasize it's not a one-way street. It's not simply a matter of Latin Americans coming to the United States and learning from us. There's so much that we can learn from them. There's some great models being introduced in Central America, some great models in Mexico. If we look beyond, for example, in Colombia, which also has had some great success in reducing crime, a city like Medellin, which was the drug capital of the world at one point, and now is a delightful city, was a feature of the New York Times travel section just a few weeks ago. So they've done some really innovative things there. Going further south to Brazil and Rio de Janeiro, and the work that the police have done there in community policing and working with civil society. So there's a real opportunity for some south-north exchanges here. Now, there are a number of issues that we're grappling with at USAID that I expect that Guillermo Enrique will talk a bit about now in our plenary session. I hope we can talk about over the next couple days. And the first is something that the mayor talked about, the importance of targeting. And as he noted earlier, there was a tendency to spread our resources too thin, that we looked at sort of every youth as an at-risk youth. But the truth is no country has the resources to invest in everyone. We have to make some tough decisions. And we all know that a small group of individuals commit the vast majority of crimes. That's true in LA, it's true in Central America, true throughout the world. We need to be able to figure out how do you find those youth before they join gangs, before they start committing crimes. And we are now working with the LA Grid team trying to figure out how we can adapt the YSET tool to Central America. And we're eager to understand the risk factors that contribute to a youth joining a gang. Other challenge that we're facing is that of scaling up. Obviously, the USAID resources are relatively modest if you look at the great challenge that these countries are facing. And what other donors can bring to bear is relatively modest as well. But real key to success will be the ability of these governments to mobilize their own resources, to engage the private sector, engage civil society. And you've done a great job of that here, and we're eager to learn from you. Now, we already are seeing some greater participation on the part of the private sector in these countries on this issue. I was in El Salvador a couple months ago, had a chance to announce the largest public-private partnership in the history of USAID involving the local private sector. And we agreed that we would put in, USAID would put in $20 million, the private sector there would put in 22, so we had $42 million over a 5-year period to invest in local communities there on anti-crime work. We've also seen some great involvement from U.S. multinational companies, Cisco, Intel, Microsoft. I was in Peru a couple weeks ago for the World Economic Forum, the regional meeting, and it was remarkable to meet with corporate executives there and see how much interest they had in this issue. And it wasn't a question of charity, it wasn't a question of corporate social responsibility. It was for their own profits. They know they can't be profitable unless they can help to reduce the very, very high crime rates that we're seeing in so many countries. Another issue that we're grappling with is that of metrics and trying to figure out, and the mayor talked a lot about data and evidence and how we can best figure out whether we're succeeding, if we're not, how to adjust our efforts. And I often ask my team a very simple question: what is it we're trying to succeed? What are the measures that we're trying to move? And on one level, it seems like a simple thing. We're obviously trying to achieve a reduction in certain kinds of crimes. But should we be focusing on certain crimes more than others? And are there some crimes that are proxies for others, that if you can move those and reduce those, they're more likely to have an influence on others? I'm eager to hear from all of you about that as well. But again, a big thank you for allowing USAID to co-sponsor this, to participate. I'm very much looking forward to what Enrique and Guillermo have to say. They're two of my greatest teachers in this field, and I'm looking forward to all of your questions and comments during this panel, but really throughout the entire session again. So again, thank you.